Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good day wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the next episode of No Dice, No Glory. Sponsored by our jobs that actually pay us money, we're coming to you not at all live from an abandoned arms factory deep under a mountain in West Virginia. We are proud to proffer to you the finest in wargaming coverage. Without any further ado, let's get this show on the road.
Hey, well, thank you for the introduction, Sean. And this is your No Dice, No Glory team today, made up of myself, Mitch, and Austin Copte. That's not even his real name. He's who's also, and you and Ed Sales have been doing your own, the Tactical Terrorists, or what's the name of your podcast?
The name's still on the books, but we're thinking Mid-Atlantic Generals. I don't know. We still don't know yet.
I'm thinking the Tactical Terrorists.
We could go with that.
All right. And then, of course, Ed Sales is here, but Ed is still walking around. So I'll tell you what, let's get Ed on first. And
what's up, guys?
And so we just did the TAPS charity tournament.
How much money did we raise?
We raised $492.
That's
wow,
right.
That's a lot.
Woo!
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. It's there was a lot of rerolls that went down, but each reroll is going to benefit someone in need.
Yes. And it's a great organization, taps.org. Please look them up. They do a lot of cool stuff. Anyway, who won today's tournament, Ed Sales?
That was probably me.
And the Ringer. The Ringer won the tournament. So let's go over. I posted the pictures online already.
Okay.
So number 2 was?
James Copeland.
Huh. Yeah, I'm starting to see a trend here.
Sorry.
And 3 was?
James Best Jr.
Junior.
Yep.
Right, which is James Best.
Yep.
You have to have one of the best out there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that? Yeah, you played Ed the last round.
I played both best today. Anytime you play the best, you're in for a challenge. So
you are.
To come away with a tournament win after playing 2 best, to me, is insane. I should not have won either game.
So let's go over. It was 2 45-point games.
Correct.
And then a 75-point all iron medal, iron.
Tank teams that were fully tracked. So the idea for round 3 was a tank duel, and that's why the mission was annihilation.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the tank duels. And for the first 2 rounds, I really like the low points for the skirmish level games.
We still had guys playing to the bitter end, though.
We did in a little shorter round, hour 45 minutes. But I thought it was a lot of fun. You couldn't bring everything you would need. Like there's boxes you want to check: smoke, a template weapon, armor, infantry, AT guns. There's stuff that you couldn't check off, so you had to make decisions in your list building. And it worked out for some people, for some others didn't. It was a lot of fun for me. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, I had a good time. What were you running today?
For the first 2 rounds,
with
the 45 points, I ran armored cars, and I supported them with the Panzer
Soviet armored cars or German?
German armored cars.
All right.
And they had the Pak 38s and the Panzer Grenadiers for the Corps, and the only support I brought with them were the Martyrs, and they did work. And route 3, I switched it up. I tried Americans. I went with the M10 anti-tank company, or tank destroyer company, and it almost lost. I mean, I almost lost first round too. Went into the last round. I was just like, hey, I'm going to stave off this loss, and end up winning. I just killed everything I needed on the table. There was a lot of reroll tickets I bought, but hey, win's a win.
I spent $40 in reroll tickets.
$40.
Well,
I thought I had a lot of 20.
Well, I mean, we earned $492 for charity.
Has to come from somewhere. James, what were you running today?
Well, I was running my tried and true Stuarts. I backed them up this time with a few Crusaders and 3 M10s.
Wow.
First game was against Soviet heavy armor. That was a doozy. My M10s did some work on that, and then I made a really bad mistake and ran right out in front of two T-34s.
You don't do that.
That was a bad choice. So then it became a rush to see how many of my Stuarts could get behind the single T-34 and finally kill it. Game 2, same formation. They did much better. My universal carriers were able to snatch the objective that was undefended. So 2 points won me a 45-point game. Can't beat that. And then for round 3, kept the original list, added some the Crusaders in there, like I was saying, and went against the James Best Sr. Lost about 7 pounds in sweat.
Well, it is hot in here.
His M10
yeah, it is.
company, and ooh man, M10s are hard to dig out with AT7.
I'll tell you who my best game today was with, and even though he's a big fan of the guys in Breakthrough Assault, and he will never listen to this podcast, but Bill White really is a good player. The way that guy thinks, and I do rib him a lot, but actually very enjoyable game playing with him. My last game, not so much, but we'll get into our special guest in a minute because we missed him in this game, I think. But my first game was against Jason, who's on the NDNG team, but he covers Armada. Mm-hmm. And Jason, you can just come over, do it over the shoulder with one of us. But how did Jason finish today?
Jason, his first time in a tournament, I believe first time playing Flames, finished 5th out of 12 people. That is incredible.
You guys went easy on me, though. That's I think that's the only reason I was able to.
No, we didn't.
You went against James Best Jr. round 2. That's, again, no easy task for an experienced player.
And he tabled me.
Well,
quite handily.
You recovered, though, right? And he finished, won 8-1 round 3?
Round 3 was actually a lot of fun because it was all tanks. First 2 rounds, I did not have the hang of using those infantry, so that was kind of tough. Mm-hmm. But round 3 was definitely a lot more fun because now it was all mobile, outflank the other, and that was actually a lot of fun. But the Tiger was terrifying.
So a lot of guys out there, they play in stores, and you see them all the time. They don't go to tournaments. And a lot of it is because they feel there's a lot of assholes at tournaments. And in this case, we have a couple. I'm looking at them. Not you, but definitely him. Definitely him. I know you guys can't see this out there, but we know who we're talking about, Bingo. And but what did you think? Did the guys, other than your first opponent, did people are they willing to show you the game and want to get better?
And thank you all because I was very that was the number one thing that was preventing me from getting into Flames of War and Team Yankee was because I had watched a few tournaments and saw how competitive it was and how a lot of players were just not didn't have a lot of patience for teaching new players how to play. Like
you want to hear about competition? Don't look at me after I say this question. How many of you guys here that are sitting here have played in Masters?
Quite a few here, looks like.
Right. And how many but these guys are willing to teach you the game.
They were very patient with me when I didn't remember the steps or didn't roll something quite right. So thank you all.
But nobody hit you.
Not yet.
Yeah, we got a car ride home.
There's still a car ride home.
Nobody threw any dice.
Nobody threw any dice.
Yep.
Nobody rage quit. So,
Speaking of rage quit, and we're going to introduce this guy that it used to be when we were doing the On the Road show at WWPD. He was our mascot. We'd like to reintroduce to our audience. You're going to have to come over here. Is ladies and gentlemen, coming back, making his Flames of War return, Ben Goebel. Ben, welcome.
Hi.
Is this your first time on the NDNG podcast?
No, you had me on the last tournament that you had me at.
Oh.
You keep dragging me to tournaments and saying it's my great return, and then forgetting about me for months.
It's a return for the month of October.
It's a return for the month.
He's waiting for you to do well at a tournament so you can make a great entry.
Ben, I actually have a question.
Ben,
for
how
you.
do? Yeah, go ahead.
I've heard stories of the famous anger that comes from you, and today I did not see it. Have you changed your medication? Have you seen a new therapist? What's going on?
Do you know what it is? You're immune to it.
I'm immune to it?
Yeah, because you ever see this man roll dice? He's the only guy that could say F you by rolling a dice. He's just
I've yet to play him, but you seemed like you were having a good time.
Yeah.
You seemed tame from the stories I've heard.
I think a good part of it was that I was not here with a very competitive list. I was just here to have a good time.
Right.
And you didn't complain about it at all.
No, not
James, did you hear him complain?
Many times. There should have been a tally. It would have been quite high.
I heard some rules gripes, about the way things were written.
Yeah.
And I think we all have those types of gripes.
The rules are the rules, man. I mean, really, it's what it is. Think of it as a common language that enables us to all sit down and play a game together. And the rules are the rules. You could complain about the rules, but the rules are the rules.
So I am interested. What brought you to the conclusion to bring PZ4s?
Oh,
which is arguably the worst tank in the game at the moment.
Oh, it's beyond the worst. What happened was
I think they're good.
I misplaced my Crusaders until literally this morning, and I hadn't printed out a list for them, so I just brought the PZ4s for fun.
I mean, it was fun watching them die.
All over the place.
So, Ben, are we going to start seeing you at more tournaments?
I mean, if you actually tell me when they happen.
Oh. Well, I mean, I can say you could always hit our website, nodicenoglory.com, and there's a ton of information out there.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, but look at the best, man. I've never sent them an email about a tournament, and they're everywhere.
You know I'm too dumb to look up on things on the internet.
I know that, yeah. But I tell you, it was fun seeing you again.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah,
it was. And then, a lot of people think, you don't like version 4. That's why you're not playing, but that is not the truth.
I think that I have gripes about V4, but I have gripes about V3. So, I mean, I have gripes about everything I play, and I play a lot.
You would have gripes about winning the lottery.
It's true, actually. I'm sure I could find
I won $1 million, but I got to pay all these taxes.
Yeah. Just griping. It's just griping. No, and I'm glad that you and then who joined you today? 2 other guys that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Which is,
I guess the global crew as a whole. My brother Chris
and
Scott
Macklemore,
who is I guess an honorary global.
He is an honorary global. He is, and it was good seeing you guys again at these things. But it's been too long. We need to see you at more events. Yeah,
I mean, I might actually learn these rules as opposed to kind of
complaining about them all the time.
Flounder through them and complain at the same time.
It's crazy. So, hey, I'm going to throw something out there that we were talking about.
Right.
Is this maybe too early, but
we can throw it out and get feedback now.
All right, let's throw it out and get feedback now. It is and I'm looking around, it is a de-escalation tournament.
The heck does that mean?
Well, it means that you start off with a set amount of points, and your points will be mandated between your core force and your support force. Mm-hmm. And as you play, if you lose something in your support force, it's gone.
Okay.
Your core force will keep getting reinforced every turn. So, let's say you lose a platoon from your core force, it comes back.
I'm going to say I don't like it.
Why is that? Because you're a positive guy.
I guess my first question is, what era are you putting it in?
We haven't decided yet.
We haven't decided.
So, I'll take mid-war as your example, okay. And more importantly, Germans, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at the main core of any German anti-tank, right? It's your martyrs, right? Mm-hmm. That's a support formation. That's a problem when it doesn't get refreshed, but let's take Americans. You can take a formation of M10s, those get refreshed. You have a little bit of an imbalance because there are some forces where your things that aren't coming back are keys to solving problem units.
All right, he stumped the shit out of us.
Agreed.
What, yeah. James Best Senior? What did you say, sir?
I said I believe the Germans are support-based. The Germans are support-based.
They are.
Yep.
Well, that's something we could think about.
Yep. Another thing we could look at is between if you win or lose, you get X amount of points to resupply those support units, and with the loser getting more points to resupply.
I think that's a little better, and that way you at least are making the choices in between games. Do you want to resupply your support, which will not help you not break in your next game, or do you resupport your main formation to prevent you from breaking? It becomes a tactical choice rather than just you automatically get whatever the heck is in your main formation.
Yeah, it's James Best Senior, once again, great catch. The Germans are very support-based.
Yep.
So, look, we're going to play around with it.
Too.
Huh?
Yep.
That's an any era. That's early, mid, late. They're very support-based.
Well, I am sure the folks listening to this don't have an opinion. so, I mean, send in kind of ideas. How do we turn tournaments back into something that is interesting?
Yeah, I mean, we want to keep the format changing. Like today was the 45 points for the first 2 rounds, and round 3 was 75 points. Tank teams are fully tracked. We want to try different things. We want to see what interests people and want to keep things different.
What would be interesting is Team Yankee de-escalation.
I love me some Team Yankee.
Because you think about it, it's essentially balanced, and really it's
much more
it's that second formation, that allied formation you're bringing in that you may not get back. So
good point.
We can always look around and play it. If worst comes to worst, we'll just play a set point total and just have to play blindfolded.
I mean, I don't know if it's been played in a while, but the Scott Semino tournaments from back in the day.
Junkyard tournaments.
He provided all the armies, and you got matched up randomly to a table. And I believe it was his second one where the tables weren't even the same era. Was all kinds of fun.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you what, that was a lot of fun.
It comes down, and I love it because it's often, in my opinion, shows the better general, right? Because you could be put in front of a force that you would never actually field, but you can. The best players are the ones that are going to still swing and win with that.
Did you guys go to that one?
No.
I'm looking at the best.
I like the one where we exchanged armies at Masters.
Yeah.
If you remember at Masters a couple years ago, we exchanged armies. So turn one you would play yours, then the next round you would play your opponent's army, then the next round you would play yours. It was 6 rounds, but still, it allowed you to play somebody else's army, and it really showed, the list builders versus people who played the game.
I can already see Ed is not a fan, and I'm guaranteeing I can't see James. James, you a fan of not playing the list you brought?
I actually really enjoyed that list. I played the Japanese for the first time at Masters last year. I played the French for the first time at Masters last year, and I played the Germans for the first time at Masters last year. So
Sounds like you need more variety in your life.
I mean, I have 3 different nations. I need more money in my life. That's what I need.
Don't we all?
The problem I had with that tournament, and a couple other people had the same problem, you're putting your models in someone else's hands, and they're toting it around. They're pushing them around. Things tend to break. People treat models different. I put a lot of effort into my models, and I always get like my hand off a model of somebody else. You're always like, will I get it back the same way?
Oh, did you get those 2 stands? Remind me to give you those 2 stands.
Yes,
He's already destroyed them. You don't want them back.
Yeah, I treated them like with kid gloves.
Well, they're not even mine, so.
I'm looking at Ed right now, and he resembles Gollum right now, like holding his models going, my precious.
Listen, I'm having a panic attack thinking about handing my models to somebody else. It's just no.
So at the other hobby store a couple of years ago, we had a tournament.
Yeah.
And this guy, Ben Goebel, borrowed Sean's King Tigers.
Yeah.
And just tigers. It's
Tigers.
beautifully painted.
And everybody knows what kind of painter he is.
Hours and hours.
And
of
this
work.
cat is walking. You were there. And all of a sudden, the tigers go flying. Like the tigers went airborne.
I was told airborne tigers are the way to go.
And they were jacked up.
Yeah.
Like the Scherzen skirts were old. And he didn't say anything to Sean until we were driving home.
Well, the beauty of the situation was he was standing outside in front of a giant glass wall, and I was sitting at a table behind him, furiously gluing them back together.
Yeah. And we threatened. But I think you did all right in that tournament.
I could have done better, but I didn't do too bad. Again,
With busted tigers.
I took a stupid list, and I had a good time.
Yeah. And that's really what it is. I mean, that's it, too. So, here you have a lot of guys, a lot of experience. Here you have a guy that had a lot of experience that came back, and a guy with no experience. And I think everybody had fun.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I mean, what is our next event, Ed?
We got Fallen coming up.
We got the Iron Man.
Yeah.
How many folks we have for that?
All right, so for Flames of War, if my count is correct, we're at 29.
And this is still, 3 weeks left?
3 weeks left. I think there were some more emails I needed to go through. Team Yankee is about 24 to 26. I haven't done an official count of that yet.
So you're looking at 20-something players are going to get a huge discount.
I mean, this is the amount of people that are signed up. This is kind of like a nationals-level tournament. You're going to be playing people you've never seen before. You're going to be playing armies you've never seen before. And listen, that discount, everybody always has that one thing where they go, I would buy this, but I don't want to pay $45 for that box. So that $45 box is now like $37. It's a lot easier pill to swallow.
I have a question. Is Able Company committed to coming to that?
They have not.
Good Masters practice if they come.
And Masters is the following week.
Hey, I know of at least 4 players that are going to Masters are going there to practice their Masters list. Now, they're a few points off, but they're going there to practice.
And Able Company's hosting Masters this year, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
So it's not like they have to travel 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have a tournament worked up for pre-Masters like they usually do.
They're running a tournament. I just put it out on our Facebook feed.
Yeah.
That's at the same time, which is kind of neat.
And that's actually, when you talk about building the community, you can have guys come out, meet the Masters players, and play some Flames at the same time. It's a great idea.
You sure meeting some of these Masters players really are going to get people into the game?
Yeah, we're kind of jerks.
I don't know. Jason had a good time.
Yeah, but he didn't know they were Masters players. And I'll see him at work on Monday, and he'll be like, those guys are dicks.
Well, we'll find out when they have the total player count from that tournament gets done.
Yeah, so I think it's exciting. It's, hey, and then the other one, too, is when it comes to holding tournaments, charity tournaments, and the reason why we made so much money was that everybody put in $1 for re-rolls. So you bought tickets. So many re-rolls.
So many re-rolls.
So you mentioned a tournament going on at Masters. No Dice No Glory is actually having a tournament at the same time as Masters.
Where is that?
It's a bar in Norfolk.
Oh, yes. Go ahead. Tell us about this.
All right, so this is going to be for the guys who did not go to Masters. Hey, we're still going to have a play this weekend, right? So that same weekend, it's a bar in Norfolk, Virginia, Bearded Bird Brewery. It's 2,000 points. Yeah, 2,000 points, late war. That is a lot of points.
My local club, the 757, actually did the precursor to this game. We called it the Pint for Peace. And let me tell you, there's nothing better than drinking copious amounts of beer and throwing dice and playing little games and having people on the street walk by and wondering what the hell you're doing. And you can give them the thumbs up and drink more beer. So it's a lot of fun.
Hey, and the entry fee is a covered dish. I mean, everybody can pull out the leftovers they had the night before and bring it down. Hey, there's your entry fee.
A covered dish. You may have to spell it out for some of these guys.
What the heck does that mean?
A potluck.
Hey, like a potluck.
Ah.
Bring food. That's your...
Yeah. Just
bring food.
Bring your dish.
So we have Iron Man.
Yep.
We have the... What's that? What are we calling this one again?
It's called the Turkey Shoot.
The Turkey Shoot.
The Turkey Shoot. No Dice No Glory presents the Turkey Shoot for those who want to de-stress before they meet with their in-laws for Thanksgiving. For those who did not get an invite to Masters, and those who just want to play games or get drunk. Hey, you can get wasted and say, hey, I'm going to play some Flames. Just gets toasted instead.
So this winter, after that, what do we have?
All right, so Jim Best is looking to run his very first tournament.
Holy!
Yes, December 1st, Toys for Tots tournament.
I did one a few years ago for women that used to be in prostitution called Toys for Tarts.
Oh, no.
Anyway, I'm sorry. So Jim Best is here.
Yes.
Jim, can you give us any details?
Well, I'm working out details with the store here, but we're looking at December 1st. I'm favoring a high point mid-war game, probably around 125 points.
Holy moly.
Or more. Just looking for something in December to promote Toys for Tots. I know everybody's is probably tired of mid-war, but right now I'm open, and it's a definite for that.
Can we
day.
bring unopened toys?
I believe they need to be wrapped or
unopened, right?
Unopened,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to look at the details because Battlefront is actually running a Toys for Tots program. And the tournament's going to be here at your hobby place in Fredericksburg, and they're going to have a big jug for Toys for Tots. So the details of the tournament are still being worked out. 125 points mid-war is a lot. That should be fun, but that's a lot of points.
Yeah, Panzer IVs. Austin.
All the Panzer IV. Oh, wait.
Austin, is the Panzer IV any good at 125 points?
No.
If you can bring multiple formations of Panzer IVs and then upgun them, because at 125 points, you get the AT-10 guns.
Oh, sure. Now you're talking about, better Panzer IVs. But a real man brings the base Panzer IV and then loses every game.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll bring my upgraded PZ4s if you bring your downgraded PZ4s, and we'll play round one. How about that?
No, I already did that in round 3 against Mitch. It ended poorly.
Hey, and one thing I want to say is, Jim Best, how long have you been playing Flames War?
Since 2011.
All right. 7 years. You've been playing tournaments for 7 years.
Ed with the math.
Now, yeah. I don't think there's a tournament within a 6-hour drive that he misses. So everybody who runs tournaments, he's there playing. So he's running his first tournament. I think it's time for people to pay it forward and come to his tournament December 1st.
I'll tell you what, Jim. If I'm still alive, I will come down here with PZ4s.
Thank you.
All right.
Very much.
And a Tiger.
And then you need to round up the Goebel crew again.
I think the Goebel crew needs to come.
Ben needs to stay on his current meds. With this current concoction of medications, he is a very nice and tame for Ben Goebel player.
And Jason, would you do 125 points come?
Hey,
he says short, which is really.
And
I don't have anything.
As long as you provide.
I will build you an army.
Is it going to be legal this time?
Shut up.
If we look around, I'm sure amongst all of us, if we're mid-war, we probably have 30,000 points of mid-war.
And
so I think
I don't
we have
think
plenty of armies.
Ghost Panzers. When's that coming out?
Man, it's gonna be December. It's not. I don't think it's gonna be out in time.
It would be nice if it did.
It would be nice. We'll see what we can do.
You think it will change everything? All right, he says he's pretty sure. We'll have to invite him back to the show to see if that's true. And then looking in 2019, what do we got going on?
Tournament-wise?
Yeah, well, don't forget, Troy is going to be running a bolt-action tournament out in the left coast.
Yep. December 15th, Brian Sullivan is running a tournament in Maryland, and it's Late War 1555.
And then we have in Italy, if guys want to travel to Milan, Paolo, Chris Jackson will do it.
Hey, I think he was the first sign up.
And is hosting something out in Italy. He's one of our other Italian writers.
Yep.
And Benny said he was going to come down.
Really?
Which he maybe didn't, but now he'll be guilted in. He is Danish.
So the Vikings are invading.
Yeah.
Isn't Bomb Camp doing something?
Yes, Bomb Camp is doing something the same weekend as Masters. Oh, is it? I think it's Skoda Fest. Oh, yeah, he's doing something December 15th. It is Backyard Brawl. I think it was mid-war, 109 points. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Skoda Fest is Masters weekend.
And then, a lot of guys have been contacting us to put information out. So there's a lot of tournaments out there. But like from Jason today coming, playing, and, I want to bring a new player to every event. And
success.
Yeah.
You brought Goebbels to his second return tournament. First tournament.
His second first comeback.
We can all look forward to 2 months from now where I'll have another comeback.
But that was in April, dude.
So when he comes to the next tournament, which will be his third, return to Version 4 tournament, can we have like a banner hung up? When it's third tournament, we need a banner hung
welcome
up.
Home Ben.
Welcome home Ben.
What color ribbon should we make for that?
Pink. Pink is a very manly color.
People don't realize how big a force you were when Version 3 was out. You were just always at the top and somebody to beat.
That's good to know. I have obviously failed that impression based on my last two events.
Well, maybe the same medications are keeping you tame or making you less focused. So.
Maybe.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. He moved in with his girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
You just call her a hoe?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Them some fighting words.
Oh, no. Here comes the swinging. This is the bit I know about.
He should be more scared of her than you.
That's true, actually.
She is very nice. And then we also have a brand new. I don't think you guys didn't talk about it in your podcast. Austin's brand new edition, Strelkovy, Copeland.
I'm still waiting for the $5,000. So as it stands, it's Sladen, Copeland, but the Social Security office will Mitch for a small fee of I think it's $200. You can change it. So once that hits my PayPal account, I'm going to the Social Security office.
So okay, seriously. If you see $5,200 in your PayPal account, will you actually change the kid's name?
What's the speed limit on I-95?
I don't know, 55, 60?
I can make it. I'll make it.
Do you know how much we would actually raise $5,000 to name something insane, something that you and that kid will regret days later after accepting that money? I mean, yeah.
I think Strelkovy.
It's going into a college fund, so I mean, it's not like it's a bad thing.
You don't have to call her Strelkovy. You call her Strelk.
Like I said, $5,200, my PayPal account. I will get it to you at the end of this podcast.
I'll tell you what. I want confirmation from Joe.
Yes.
Let me text her real quick.
All right. So he's texting his wife. But Ed, James, thanks you guys for putting this on.
No problem.
And, guys, definitely hit taps. I want to thank Jason for coming.
Yes, thank you.
I made him come. And you know what it is? He did something really stupid today.
Oh, no.
Is he promised his girlfriend that he would be home around 5 to go and get dinner with her.
So you promised your girlfriend you'd be home by 5 for dinner?
5 or 6.
Jason, it was nice seeing you at these tournaments.
Yeah, well, we're going to leave soon. It's almost that time.
Nice seeing you.
And then, of course, the return of the Gobelator.
Yeah, it's good to be back, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good seeing your brother back.
Absolutely.
You know what it was? I knew it was a good time when he yelled at me. What do you expect me? I didn't bring any cash. You were supposed to pay. And I'm thinking, like, you're right. I was going to jack with him.
Oh, no.
So, we'll sign it off. And I'm sure you're going to be hearing from the tactical terrorists pretty soon.
You might want to rethink that.
Are you sure it was not the Mid-Atlantic Generals?
I know I didn't put that on the thing.
I think we've been overruled. I think it's going to be tactical terrorists.
You are going to have
terrorists.
some
No,
giving you a call.
It's we actually put a name in there for your things.
I mean, our last group was the Fredericksburg Area Gaming Society. So
That's not going to work out.
Abbreviate that, right? So we're going to commit like a jihad on your tactics or something.
What was the name of the podcast? I forgot.
I don't think the name was put up.
No, I think I did for the last one. Hold on here. I think I have to go to iTunes. And it's funny, you can, for most people that don't know, you can listen to us on iTunes. Flames of War Tactics Talk with Ed and Austin.
So we got some room to change that.
That's really homely. I like that.
It's Tactics Talk with Ed and Austin.
You just see the fireplace and
Yeah.
big comfy armchair.
As long as I'm Mr. Rogers, we're okay.
Yeah. And people are digging your show.
Yeah, the downloads on it are really, really good.
Yeah, I'm very
good
happy.
sign.
It's you're competing with Guys We Effed podcast. It's released the same day.
Gotcha.
Have you ever listened to that podcast?
No.
It's good. It's good. It's don't make sure your wife doesn't listen to it.
Okay.
Because then she'll be empowered.
No.
But yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting this on. Taps.org. They put their stuff on their website.
Yep.
And I'd like to thank Your Hobby Place.
Absolutely.
And James, Ed, you guys want to take us out and thank anybody?
I'd like to thank my agents and God. And no. Thank you all for listening.
Well done. What God?
Does it really matter?
I'd like to thank my wife who earns a lot of money so I can buy a lot of reroll tickets.
Jason?
Well, first I'd like to thank everyone for having me over. Mitch, thanks for
All right, shut up.
stuff. Ed, thanks for running this. And and Shannon will never hear this, but if you do listen to this, thank you for letting me go play silly miniature soldiers for a day. So
We need to mark the time he said that, cut that bite out, and send it to her. we need to see him again at other tournaments.
Oh, it's done. I am sending it to her. It is.
Timestamp this.
It's going to be whenever he calls my phone. It's going to be, honey, can I have my balls back? Honey, can I have my balls back? Ben, you want to say something?
It's good to be back. I guess I'll see you all at the next event that Mitch tells me about.
Whatever.
December 1st.
Oh, and of course,
December 1st,
of course,
Jim Best.
Jim Best Jr. And Jim is not saying anything. Clean-shaven Jim Best Jr. Senior.
Come to Your Hobby Place December 1st for Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tarts. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And Ed, I guess send it back to Shawnee.
All right. Sean, take us away.
Thanks so much for joining the show tonight. Remember to follow us on Twitter at No Dice, No Glory. And keep the conversation going on NoDiceNoGlory.com, now featuring our own message boards. Have a great night, everybody.